Hi guys, I'm Danny, and I started a Sunday gym because I've noticed lately that people tend to go to colleges and universities without actually knowing why they're there. Afterwards, starting jobs that are unfulfilling. So I'm interviewing different professionals to see what they have to say and to share their experience and knowledge with you. I hope you enjoy it. Right on, Vel Co. Welcome to the podcast. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, thanks, man. I'm really
Nice.
happy to be here, and I'm wondering what we're going to talk about, really.
Well, the podcast is about the three questions. What do you do for a living? How'd you get there? How'd you know that this was the way to go? So, tell us what you do for a living, man.
Well, currently and hopefully forevermore, I will be a vocal instructor, vocal coach. I'm going towards a therapist as well. I have some manual therapy skills too. I'm a vocal health first aider, which means that I assist people in any case where they have problems with their voice. I'm also going towards pathologies in a certain point, but to sum it up, I'm doing everything to release the voice and help people to express themselves better, basically.
Nice. How'd you get there? That's yeah. That's why I had you on, man. This is why I wanted you to be here.
So it's a, I suppose, curious story. Everybody's life is really colorful in general. Mine is no different. I started off as a computer kid. I always wanted to be a programmer or a network engineer. Actually, my first dream was to be a game tester, to
Yep.
sit on a chair and just play games and find bugs and show them to the developers so they can fix it. Later on, I learned that this is not the case. There's a lot of documentation there and a lot of things to be done that I don't really know how to do. But moving with my life forward, I studied in England, and I studied computer engineering there. And it wasn't for me. It was something about the climate. It was something about the people. I really know. But I came back to Bulgaria and continued my studies. Whilst I was doing that, I started working as a level one support for I'd say a BPO company. Then I moved up to level two. Then I moved to another company. I became a customer relations team lead. And at a point, it turned out that it's really difficult to optimize and make things lean in time. And the more you develop, the more, how do you say,
You grow.
responsibilities. Yeah, I suppose you grow, but the better you do, the more responsibilities you're given.
Yep.
And at a point, I was just overburdened with everything that I needed to do, and I looked at myself and thought, well, is this the thing that I really want to do? And apparently, it was a no. So I started checking to see if there's anything else. I worked a little bit as an insurance broker as well for about a year, and let's see, I actually spent more than 5 6 years doing outsourcing before that. But while I was doing everything in that direction on the side, I was actually going to singing lessons, and it was going good. The more I went to singing lessons, the easier it was for me to do my job and to actually go to that place and just grind the wheel, and whatever happens.
Yep.
And I was even overworking myself at a point where they gave me a personal laptop, and I thought to myself, wow, I'll have the opportunity to do more work and finish more things faster at home. And my manager actually shook her head and said, well, Velin, if you keep doing that, you're just going to perish. You're just going to overwork yourself.
Yep.
You need to stop. So I was using my vocal lessons as a great distractor and something to be looking forward to for the end of the week, because it was usually on a Friday, to just go and sing my heart out. And it was with those lessons I started taking note in things about my own voice and things that other people did with theirs, and how all of us actually express ourselves. And the more I sang and the more I learned, the more curious I was, the more interesting was for me. And at a point, because my vocal coach at the time was also growing, and she was invited to one of the X Factors to be of the vocal coach team. So her
Nice.
studio started to grow. And as I was one of her best students at the time, and she needed the workforce, she asked me if I wanted to take a job there. So it was at the time I was doing insurance brokerage, and it was something really alluring to me to start doing what I was looking towards every week. Imagine if I do this the entire week, and that made me happy at the time. So I took a huge leap of faith and started teaching. Given that I took some time before I took the leap to study and go through some lessons and observe some vocal lessons given from another vocal coach to a student.
Because that sounds
And
like a script from the early 19 movies, like the guy went to college, mom and daddy sent him over there, and he got his little degree, and then he went back home, and then he hit it big on the stage and stuff. You can't make this one up, man. It's pretty something.
yeah, yeah, it's really wild how things
From the
happen because
corporate environment, insurance and IT and stuff like that, from that corporate world into a stage X Factor or something like that. It's that's remarkable.
it was I got so much support from everybody from the corporate world, which was amazing because it turned out that everybody lit up when they realized I'm following my dream, even if it
Yep.
sounds a bit crazy, you know. And it has been, I think, 8 now wonderful years. I can say that they are not hard and difficult and just challenging,
Well, in all
but
fairness, life is supposed to be hard and difficult and challenging. Otherwise, well, how are we supposed to grow otherwise? You can't, and it's hard and it's difficult now. It was hard and difficult to learn how to walk when you were a baby. I mean,
true.
it's not really hard and difficult. It's just something you should endure and overcome. It's basically that simple.
Yeah. And at
It's
the time, I
remarkable
didn't.
you actually got support from your colleagues. Just think about, because it's like that stigma, the cold corporate world, and
Yeah.
just one of them like I'm gonna be the Freddie Mercury this evening or something like that. It's pretty remarkable.
At the time, I didn't even know what I was doing, but now, because we're
You
dealing
just
with the
stay,
biopsychosocial model of things.
can you
Oh,
just
again,
stay still a
please.
little bit because you're shaking the camera? Sorry.
Definitely. I'm
Sorry.
just really excited to be talking about this, you know?
Yeah, don't worry about it. So it's pretty remarkable. And now the third question is a little bit off, but I really enjoyed it. How did you know that this was the way to go? How did you figure it out? Was it a gut feeling? Were you influenced by somebody? Was it due to the surrounding environment? What happened?
I think it was all of those things because, for instance, about singing, it was my mom who said one day, "Whoa, don't you love singing? Why don't you why don't you go and do that for a bit? I'll find you a teacher." And so she did.
How old were
Um,
you back then?
I was, I want to say 23, 24. It was, wow, seems quite a while back now. But I have
Yeah.
been singing and going to piano lessons when I was little. But then I got to some teachers that taught me how to not love the craft,
Yeah.
how to stop basically doing what I love. And it took me 10 years, I remember, because I was 13, 14 when that happened. And it was definitely predominantly a gut feeling because now I think about it, I could at times feel my body was going against the things that I needed to do. So I have to go to work and I just feel some kind of an internal conflict that stops me from wanting to go, you know?
Like
And
a
I
gap.
would I would say,
Like
well, everybody hates Mondays and just some toxic phrases that would make me think that I'm on the right path
well,
because
actually,
it's a
I found a cure for that. I'm working during the weekends, so I don't understand when it's Monday and when it's Friday. It's pretty good.
I love that. Well, I gotta say, I work almost every day, and I have no idea which day it is, because after I spend some time working for someone, I realized that we are mismatching in our core values.
Yep.
So I started my own structure, and it's slowly but surely developing to something that I am really proud and happy to say is really
And
helpful
it's
for people.
what I find pretty remarkable is that your parents actually knew you, which is pretty good because most people don't know themselves and they don't know their children. And this is why I'm doing the podcast because and you can see it everywhere. It happens in Europe, in Asia, in the United States, everywhere. People tend to push their children towards colleges and universities. And don't get me wrong, I'm not against universities. I'm not against academic study. I myself have a degree, but they tend to push them over there because of that stigma. You have to go over there and you have to have a degree, which is ridiculous. If you feel the need to go over there and to have that degree and to work in the field that you have not even chosen, the field that you felt it was good for you, that'd be perfect. And you will say, because education here isn't very expensive. I mean, it's dirt cheap
Yeah.
most of the time, but it's a lot of time, and you lose a lot of time, which is absolutely ridiculous. And I don't. It hurts me to see young people losing 4 to 6 years, sometimes even more, of their lives. And this is why I wanted to know how did you knew that this was the way to go? Obviously, you had assistance from parents and stuff like that, but was that always there something else?
Firstly, I wanted to know what you said that now at this age, I completely understand the need for a specific degree that would make me grow better and give me some more information and acquaintances and friends, because that's one part of going to a university, because you go there by your interest and not by your geographic location.
Yeah.
Whereas when it's kindergarten and in school, all of that, it's not that way. And about your other question, what pushed me in that direction? It was something about me never fitting in into my surroundings and environment. I gotta say, I felt quite a lot of times I felt alone and misunderstood around from by the people that are around me, and I would want to talk about subjects that are not popular, or I would talk about my feelings or some problems, and other students or people in general would want to talk about material things and brag about where they've been and what they have. And I didn't like that a lot. And it was something about me going to a vocal camp way
How
back. It
old were
was
you
it was
back then?
7 years ago.
Oh,
So when I started, basically, because my starting to teach music or singing overlapped with me going to a vocal camp where I saw something that I never saw. I even felt something specifically that I never felt before. I felt being accepted by my peers for who I am, and what I had and who I was not as relevant. And I'm taking making a differentiation between who I am and like what I am. And I am a
an
in
artistic
terms of
person who hadn't been around other artistic people. I mean, it's pretty straightforward, to be honest.
I think everybody wants. Yeah, we're looking for the words to explain that. Thank you, Danny.
Yeah.
But it's about feeling yourself and feeling free to express whatever you have in your mind, not
I
being judged
couldn't
for it.
agree more. And with no fairness, if you know yourself, I mean, I agree. You have to go at some point to either university, and not even university. There are now courses and stuff like that. You can get the
Quite a
new
lot.
connections and stuff like that. So, but you have to know yourself, and it's pretty remarkable. This is why I wanted you here because Again, this is the 90s sitcom. This is remarkable. Just went to the college, to the university, went into the corporate world, find out about yourself, helped by the parents, and now you're living the dream, man. I'm really happy for you.
Thank you, man. It was really scary, and I think this is a point I need to make, is that whenever we're surrounded by things that we don't want and people we don't like, it's still quite scary to step off those places and be alone for a while, but look for what you like and what you love. And it is about body awareness because your body tells you when you don't feel all right. It is about knowing what you want and what you like to do because I had a hint that I like to sing, but I needed to explore and check it out. So the explorational mind of a kid is something that I held on to because as an adult, I think we're really, really scared to try new things and explore other possibilities within ourselves as well.
Absolutely. I actually do that a lot every time I hit the brick wall. I took a few steps back. I'm being completely alone so that I can, and you don't even have to think about it. You just have to observe your thoughts. And it kind of falls right into its place. It's pretty good. At least it works for me.
Yeah, I'd say that as well. I agree
Pretty
with you
good.
there.
Vela, thank you for being here.
Thank you very much for the invite. I hope we encourage more people to follow their dreams and just look for what they love to do and then do that.
I hope so
And
too. I will
I
put the
learned
link.
something. Sorry, I just wanted to finish off that I learned something recently in a comment, or it was, I don't know, it was 70 questions of a 70-year-old person that gives advice. And it just kept my mind. But uh, yeah, just exploring yourself and allowing yourself to learn and develop what you love. Because if you find that one thing that only you can do, it becomes your responsibility to do that thing and give it to the world.
No argument there. I'm going to put the link of you into the description below in case anybody wants to contact you and stuff like that. So, very
It's a
good.
pleasure.
Pleasure
Thank
being
you
here.
very much, Danny.
Good one.
Pleasure
Bye
to
now.
meet you as well.
Guys, I hope this one was useful. Please follow the channel on YouTube, Rumble, Gap, Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn. Ring the bell and all the good stuff. Have a nice week ahead, and I'll see you next Sunday.